Mergy.
Hi, this is Bourbon Kelly, and we are sitting here with the guitar master, jazz master, Mr. Calvin Keys. And if you don't know who Calvin Keys is, by the time this interview is over, you will. So Calvin, how are you?
Bourbon, I'm blessed.
Thank you very much.
I'm blessed to be in the company of royalty with yourself and to be able to express this love that I represent through the music.
So can you tell me, now you play guitar, but how long have you been playing guitar?
I've been playing guitar now I started when I was about 14, so I'm 67. We're saying 50, good 50 years, 51, 52 years.
What got you started on the guitar?
My uncle, watching my uncle Ivory played the Delta blues on the guitar. He was quite limited, but I didn't know. I'm watching him play and sing a little blues like Lightning and, Cats. And every evening I'd get off from school, I'd go home and go down in the basement where he had the guitar and the lock and key, and I'd pick it up and plug it up and start fiddling with it because I was fascinated by the sound. He told me and my two cousins if he ever caught us with the guitar, he was going to kick our butts. But being the youngster, I'm hard-headed. So I'm down there filling out, and during the course of a few weeks and months, I figured out certain licks and things to do. And one night he came home, he caught me with the guitar because he worked on construction during the day, and it was raining. I didn't know I'm in the basement. So he came down and caught me, and I said, uh-oh, I'm going to get a butt kicked. He said, I know you've been coming down playing with guitar, nephew, because Mama told me that was my grandmother. And he says, play something for me. I played a little bit. He said, how'd you learn how to do that? I said, watching you. And then I went and played some other stuff that I'd figured out from my ear. And he says, how'd you figure that out? I said, I don't know. I heard something on the radio or a record, And I said, I'm working at the car wash on the weekends, and when I save up enough money, I'm going to buy me a guitar. He said, really? I said, yeah. He said, well, you can have that one. I said, huh? He said, yeah, go on, you can have it. It was a little K about this long, a little square one, and I had a little amp about that long. I took the guitar and amp and I ran all the way home. I was living in the project. And for the next 6 months, I'd get on to school. I got my guitar blasting all night. The police would knock on the door at 2 in the morning and say, young man, would you please turn your guitar down because people are trying, your neighbors are trying to sleep. I said, okay. And so that was the beginning of it, It was across the street from me in the projects was Richard Gardner, who was a brother-in-law of Wayne Bennett. And Wayne Bennett played with Bobby Blue Bland. And he used to come through town every now and then to see his sister and his brother-in-law. And he played the guitar. Man, he'd come through and just wear us out. But he was also passing information on. He had a younger brother named Jerry Bennett that was a freak. He played the guitar so talented that he wouldn't touch a guitar for 6 months and pick it up and play it like he never even put it down, and he would make you cry, bring tears into your eyes. He died at an early age. But then Richard, his brother-in-law, played good guitar because of Wayne. And so there was quite a few guitar players around Nebraska, Omaha. And there was another guitar player named Papa Luther Guitar Woodruff from the south side of Omaha. He had a band, and we used to try to emulate him, you know. And so, like I said, I was in the mix of the guitars, right. A lot of guitar players. And so every chance I got to learn something about that instrument, I would. I'd pick it up, man. And I remember the first band I joined was called Dr. Spider and his Rock and Roll Webs. Wow. And Spider had an old Gibson bass with 3 strings, a Gibson guitar with 3 bass strings on it. That was his bass.
It seems like music just tends to run through specific families sometimes.
Yeah, in the blood. Well, you know, with the African Americans, the music was our escapism too, from that slave bond too. You know, the only way we was able to express ourselves was through the music, listening to them stories that the music is telling. You know, these are life's experience. Music takes shapes and forms. And I was listening to a song by Sonny Boy Williams and said, "Don't start me talking as I'm going to tell everything I know." And you know, B.B. King, Sweet 16. You know, right. Hey man, so this music is about our experiences growing up, living in this planet, on this planet, and it's very authentic. You know, like I said, I was telling you, I did some research and did teaching a few things in the schools up in Oakland and around. And it was put to me, a question was a fact, rather a matter of fact. This guy told me, said, well, I read in this, wherever, I don't know, that before the 1-4-5, which is the blues, before we invented it, it didn't exist. Wow. And I thought about that, and I said, wow. I did some research. I said, well, when did it come into existence? So I went all the way back in the history trying to find out. And I think I got back as far as Son House. And I had some videotape of Son House singing and playing the blues. It was so devastating every time I watched it. It sent chills through me. I said, whoa. You know, it was just the impact that it had, you know. And you know, he was Indian too. Like I said, my grandmother on my father's side was Blackfoot Indian. And so I'm a descendant of that. The 1-4-5 progression, I'm looking to see when did it come into play, but I found out over a certain period of time, it was quite a few people that made contributions to it. Each generation, some musician come and add to it. You know, we pass it through the grapevine, you know, just like that Underground Railroad, right? Escaping that slavery. So that was the part of it, which, like I said, I did the research and I said, well, I guess it might have went back further than him, but Son House didn't really know the technical aspect of playing the guitar. He was sliding the thing, but you could hear the blues in his voice.
Definitely.
He would make them changes in his voice.
And that rhythm that he was playing.
And that rhythm that he was playing.
How did you make the transition from